Welcome back to another episode of Richie's Thoughts. I did do an initial recording earlier today, but that kind of went in flames, so I'm going to go ahead and try this one, and hopefully this one goes on about pretty good, and if not, then oh well. But yeah, welcome to another episode. It's been a while. As of this recording, I am doing this on September 12th of 2022 at 4 p.m. exactly Pacific. Now, I'm going to try and do this and get this out before tomorrow, or maybe just make this a short episode or whatever, because we are just now getting the announcements of, well, not just now, but basically, within today, of basically the state of play for PlayStation and the Nintendo Direct. So, we're going to start off with we're going to talk about the times and days, which both are tomorrow. So they both will be live tomorrow. Obviously, the Nintendo Direct is going to be at the usual 7 a.m. Pacific and 10 a.m. Eastern for, us here in the States. And obviously, for the State of Play, we have 3 p.m. Pacific later tomorrow and 6 p.m. Eastern tomorrow as well. So before we get into my small predictions and whatever for these two presentations and just my thoughts about Wumpa League a little bit, is that I haven't been doing that much content on YouTube because I've been focusing hardcore on work and school. And yes, I do stream from time to time, but that seems to be the only, compared to editing and editing, recording stuff, streaming takes a little less dedication because all you really have to do is know exactly what you're going to play, how you want to set it up, which you can easily do within a good matter of minutes. Recording, editing, and stuff like that takes time, because especially if it's a scripted video, because you have to put the video together, you have to put the recordings together, you have to put everything together, audio, images, and stuff like that. And depending on the video itself, it might take a while, while streaming can take just as long, but video editing takes good time and focus. So it's not gonna be that impossible, or it takes that long compared to the other. So I will be trying to do a bit more YouTube content down the road, but no guarantees, because obviously we're heading to the holiday season soon, and obviously holiday season in work, just there's gonna be a lot to take on. So there's that. So yeah, that's my address on that. Basically, the God Catch Up Part 2. It's not really going to be much to say. I just said it right there. Just been focusing on school and work, but I figure I dedicate some part of it because there might be a bit of oh, where you been and stuff like that. So in terms of YouTube, of course. So I'm just well, I might as well just address it right at the beginning, because it's easier to just get that out of the way then. So anyways, with that being said, let's get straight into it. I'm going to get the state of play out of the way first, because I feel that'll be a bit more easier and quick to talk about, because I honestly don't have that much prediction for the state of play. I didn't realize that there was going to be one this week. I figured with the rumors and stuff, it would have been on the 9th or something, the 8th or 7th, basically very early in the month. But I guess they decided, oh, well, you might as well just do it tomorrow. And the funny thing is that both the Nintendo Direct and the State of Play for PlayStation are both going to be on the same day. You have the Nintendo Direct early in the morning, and then you have PlayStation in the afternoon. So, and PlayStation even commented on Nintendo's tweet when they announced the Direct and stuff, that it's going to be a big day tomorrow. Now, let's actually double check and see if they did their announcement tweet before that reply to Nintendo or after. Let's find out. Let's take a look. Okay, so they did their announcement tweet first at 3 p.m. and then they did their reply to Nintendo 7 minutes after the fact. So they announced their shit before they replied to Nintendo, because it had Sony just did the reply to or I know I say Sony, but I'm talking about the PlayStation Twitter account. So let me just say PlayStation instead, so it doesn't get a little bit confusing. If PlayStation just literally say it's gonna be a big day tomorrow, and then they announce their state of play right afterwards, I think that would have caught people off guard. Or maybe people are too smart enough to know that it's imminent with the way that they're replying. But they did their announcement beforehand, so that way people can't say, "Oh, it's on the way," when it's like, nah, they already confirmed it before they said it. So, you know, that's what it is. But yeah, let's talk about the state of play prediction, because honestly, I don't, I don't really have a fucking clue. The only thing I really kept tracked on, keeping track on when it comes to the state of play, is just when it's gonna be. Everybody thought, well, mostly everybody thought it would be like in late August. Then the rumors swifted around earlier this month, basically around like the 6th at the earliest. But one of the most common dates was like the 9th, which would have been ironic because on the 9th was Crash Bandicoot's 26th anniversary. So that probably would have maybe speculated that maybe something would have been revealed for that. But alas, there was no state of play, or a showcase, whatever, for that day. But instead, we're gonna get it tomorrow. We're gonna get it tomorrow on the 13th. So, I guess just to throw it out there, even though I don't think it's gonna happen, one of my wish list predictions is for the official reveal of Wumpa League on the state of play. You basically reveal like the gameplay, you reveal the title, you reveal obviously Crash Bandicoot and stuff like that, and you give like a release date. Maybe not like an exact month and day, but maybe like a month and a year. Because obviously, if you do I just don't think it's gonna be released later this year, or maybe it will be if the company's already working on it. Now, the reason why that it's not too far-fetched to suggest that it might be already worked on is because if you look at Toys for Bob's tweet where they basically showcased a photo of like the amount of games that they legitimately themselves developed. I think if you go to like that same image, if you go to the one with the with the 3 question marks down the middle, it's like their 18th frame, I believe. I think it's like 18 frames in that photo. Yeah, 18 frames, I think. The 18th one is covered in black. Like you can't see any parts of what the game could be and stuff like that. And it's 3 question marks. The only thing that we know for sure is that they are currently in development of that game. But we have no idea what it is. But if we go off by the rumors and stuff like that, and just how likely it is compared to because there's been like a comparison case of like, oh, maybe this is Spiral 4, or oh, this is Wumpa League. This is like a new original Toys for Bob title, or something we are not expecting, like maybe a Banjo remake out of nowhere. Maybe fucking Ubisoft said, fuck it, just give Rayman to these guys. We had no idea. But like I said, based on the rumors and the leads and stuff like that, if you've been reading watching the Jez Corden, and I forgot the other guy's name, but I don't want to botch it, so I'll just leave it at Jez Corden. But Jez was talking about like Wumpa League and the details about that, and just how likely we're gonna see that eventually. Like he didn't say like, oh, when we're actually gonna see it. It's more of like, we'll see it soon type of deal. And I would like to think, based on that, it's more than likely Wumpa League. I would be very surprised if it's not like Crash. I would just be surprised. And no, I'm not saying that because I'm a Crash fanboy and stuff like that. I'm literally saying that based off like the credible rumors that we've been having in regards of the topic. Because Wumpa League's been back and forth as far as, is it dead? Is it alive? And then all of a sudden, you have like, I think when Jez Corden started talking about it for the first time, I think that was when we pretty much just knew from the get-go that it is alive. It's just a matter of when is it going to come out. Is it going to come out later this year? Is it going to come out next year? Is it going to be like a full-on game? Is it just going to be DLC? I sincerely don't think it'll be DLC, because if it was, I feel like it would have just been like a simple, here's like a DLC for like this much. There you go. Just get Crash 4. I legitimately feel that this is a brand new game. It was originally going to be DLC for Crash 4. That's the funny part. It would have been like an attachment to Crash 4, but because of the shit that happened over there, which I will talk about in a second. But I want to go ahead and get the state of play stuff out of the way first. But because of the shit that went on over there, it basically just kind of nullified Wumpa League because of the priority of focus on, like, you know, this and that here and there. So, like I said, I'll talk more about it later in a little bit. But what I do want to talk about is the state of play predictions. So yeah, my wish list prediction is Wumpa League. I hope they reveal it tomorrow, but I also would not be surprised if they don't, because it's always good to keep our expectations lowered. I mean, I've literally done that quite a bit, especially during the Smash Bros. Days, where I thought, oh, Crash will be revealed here because of this and that working in his favor. Like, literally, from the Steve reveal. Was it the Steve reveal? Yeah, Steve reveal. From the Steve reveal, there is literally every fucking evident point / speculation that could have literally led Crash Bandicoot to be in Smash Brothers, but it never happened. So I think around that point, around the Pyre Mifro stuff, I think at that point I was just like, you know what, you really gotta keep your expectations lowered, man. I was just telling myself that and shit like that. So there's that part of it. So yeah, as far as state of play is concerned, I want to see a little bit more of the new Spider-Man game. I think that looks really hype, especially I think the only one we've ever gotten for the game. I think it was like the reveal trailer. Of course, I could be wrong because I, again, haven't really been paying too much to the Sony stuff because it's literally just been kind of a few things here and there and some dedicated showcases to specific games. I really like what I saw in that reveal trailer, especially the fact that Venom is gonna be like incorporated into this shit. So I'm definitely excited to see some gameplay. I'm definitely excited to see how they build the story narrative from like what we've already seen from like from the Spider-Man game to Spider-Man Miles Morales, and now you have this to essentially follow up on. So I'm definitely curious to see what happens. I again would like to see gameplay. I would like to see like how the story is built, and I'm sure they're probably gonna throw in like something like, oh, if you pre-order by this time, you get like special Spider-Man costume, like exclusive costume and stuff like that. Maybe it's from like one of the famous Spider-Man variation costumes. Maybe you'll put in like Spider-Pig or some shit. I don't fucking know. So that's one of my other general predictions. Hopefully we can see Spider-Man 2 tomorrow to some degree. And I'm not talking about just like, oh, reusing the same stuff that we already know. I'm literally talking about, you know, brand new information, something we can work with, stuff like that. So that's one part of it. They might show something for The Last of Us, meaning like, because sometimes the state of plays tend to reveal like stuff that's coming to the, you know, PlayStation Store and stuff like that, or the the PS Plus. They'll sometimes do that, and I know some people have been like rumoring and hyping up about the fact of Last of Us 2 being on there. So maybe just for that convenience sake, you just announce that, because that's probably going to give people that don't have the game yet, that may want to play it but don't want to, you know, go through a full price retail or retail price. Maybe they will just want to get it for there. Maybe that would just be something they want. So there's that. Maybe something in the Hogwarts Legacy, although I personally won't buy the game for morale reasons, but maybe something for that, because, you know, Hogwarts Legacy, outside of like the very obvious thing to talk about within, you know, who's behind the development for that, not the game developer, but, you know, the person of source material. But anyways, maybe we'll be gameplay on that. Maybe they'll tie in like some of the main Harry Potter characters to be to help you out on your journey. Maybe like, again, one of those pre-order bonuses bullshit, where maybe if you pre-ordered the game through this certain retailer, or you do it by a certain date, maybe you can get like certain costumes or, you know, clothing that have come from like other Harry Potter games or movie inspired ones that you can wear for your character, and you can, you know, wear in the game and stuff like that. I mean, it's pretty standard at this point, so I would think that maybe that's something that they're gonna do, if I had to take a good guess at it. Other than that, where are we at with God of War? Let me take a look. Where are we at with this? Is it out yet? Oh yeah. So God of War Ragnarok comes out on November 9th, 2022. So maybe they reveal like a bit more gameplay for that, because we're essentially like 2 months and maybe a month and a half away from the game being released. So maybe a little bit more gameplay. Maybe not too much, because obviously I don't think they can show, extend it for that long. So maybe just like a little bit of gameplay here and there. Maybe just show something new, but don't show too much. So it's probably not going to be much of a focus. But definitely I would like to see God of War in there as well. The other thing I've read, which is verified, is that there's the whole thing about the new revelation of a AAA PlayStation new IP being revealed. That is something that they're doing, or that is something that is rumored, but it's been backed up by some credible leakers / rumorists, if that's even a word. So being revealed in the next 2 to 3 weeks, meaning it could be revealed at any time. I don't know if we'll see exactly what this new IP is tomorrow, but considering the state of play is indeed tomorrow, you would think that maybe it'd be a good time to reveal it, unless they feel like it's not ready to be revealed, and maybe they just want to have like an actual PlayStation showcase where it's nothing but, well, not just that certain IP, but maybe just like a few things along the way. But I think the earliest we'll see this new IP, which we have no idea what it is. Like, we don't even know if it's like, shooter. We don't know if it's horror perspective. We don't know. We just know that there's like rumors of a new triple AAA PlayStation IP, brand new one at that. That's gonna be revealed within the next 2 or 3 weeks. Could happen anytime. Could happen tomorrow. Who knows? Who the fuck knows? So I don't really have that much predictions. I mean, my wish list prediction is Wumpa League. I hope we can see a bit more of the God of War gameplay a little bit. Maybe we'll get something for Spider-Man, the new Spider-Man game that'll be coming out eventually. Maybe announce some stuff for the PlayStation Plus. Maybe just put The Last of Us 2 there finally. I know there's like something going on based on the rumors with Sly Cooper 5, but I don't know how likely we'll see that tomorrow. And by some chance we do see it tomorrow, then that's great, because I think the Sly Cooper fans would love a new game. And speaking of that, well, I'll talk about like the most obvious thing that in the room, because I know some of you people were talking to me on Twitter about it, or just one of you were talking to me about it. So I'll bring that up in this episode as well. But yeah, if we do get Sly Cooper tomorrow, I think that'd be interesting. I haven't played too much Sly Cooper back in the day, but I obviously did know it existed, and I did play a few of its games. He's not that bad of a video game. I definitely would play other ones before Sly, but that doesn't mean he's terrible. That just means that I just would play the other games before his. So if Sly Cooper 5 does get revealed tomorrow, then I'm super happy for the Sly fans. I think they deserve it. But yeah, unless I somehow remember or think of something after this video is posted about like any state of play predictions, I'll probably post it on my content Twitter account or on my personal, which is at @artfarley, at Richie Farley _Farley1. No, at Richie _Farley1. That is my personal account. Personal public Twitter account. My content account is at rfarley97. Can't believe I botched that, man. Jesus Christ. Anyways, so yeah, that's pretty much it for State of Play. So in case I miss any predictions, or think of any predictions, rumors, and shit like that, I'll probably talk about it after the fact in my Twitter account, or maybe I'll make like a comment in the comment section down below. I don't fucking know. So that's pretty much it. All right, let's talk about Nintendo. And I know I said I'll be talking about Wumpa League, but I'll talk about that after the Nintendo Direct stuff. So I'll do that at that point. So let's do it. So yeah, like I said, Nintendo Direct is also tomorrow, and as per tradition, Nintendo Directs are always early in the fucking morning. So for those of you in the Pacific time zone, it will be 7 a.m. Pacific, and for those of you in the Eastern time zone, it will be 10 a.m. So I have a little bit more prediction thought to it, because obviously I'm a little bit more familiar with Nintendo. I've been watching a lot more of their shit compared to Sony, because the last few Sony ones I just didn't really care about, and when I did watch it, I'm just kind of like, it's okay. Some good announcements here and there, but nothing that's like, whoa type of deal. So let's talk about like some of the predictions that we might see come out for this direct. I know this is something that people I've been waiting to see. I don't know if it personally will happen. But I'm gonna throw it out there anyways, and maybe if it happens tomorrow, I told you so type of deal. So my first one is maybe Metroid Prime returns, because I mean, if you look at it, the Metroid fans, they had it pretty good with Metroid Dread last year, which I thought was a pretty damn good game. It was a little difficult for some people, but I still thought it was a pretty good game overall, based on like the gameplay I've seen and playing it off of a friend's copy. I thought it was pretty good. I personally enjoyed it. And obviously, of course, I didn't stop like the dreadness of like of comments are just like, oh, where the fuck is Metroid Prime 4 and stuff like that. It's just like it's sort of like Wumpa League in the sense that it will never die, but it's still not out, and it's still alive because of these rumors and shit like that, which is essentially what both of these games are in. They're in that flux. So there was a rumor though. There was a rumor of the fact that there is more of a possibility regarding either a remaster or a remake. But if I had to guess, based on the trend of Nintendo, it will probably just be like a remaster, like a pretty good HD remaster of Metroid Prime, excuse me. So basically, like the Nintendo Switch version of the GameCube Classic, because it was like one of the pinnacles of the GameCube back in the day. So that could be something that ends up happening instead of the fourth game, Metroid Prime 4, which I'm sure some people are going to be like, ugh. But for some people, it might just be good, because maybe you don't want to go out of your way to go get an actual GameCube and go find the game, when sometimes these prices out in the market just to go get one may be more than what you want to bargain for. So I think it's more than likely we'll probably see something like that. Now, as far as tomorrow is concerned, I don't know if we'll get that. Maybe it's one of those middle of the direct announcements, maybe near the end, because like sometimes not every Nintendo Direct, but most of them tend to have like a oh shit wild card surprises, where they literally will save a project near to the end that will like surprise everybody. Now, regardless of whether or not it's a positive reception or a negative reception, that is up to you to decide for yourself. But if Metroid Prime, either like a remaster, remake, or the fourth, if either of those things pop up tomorrow, I think it's gonna be either one of them, but not both. Definitely not both. If either one of them pops up tomorrow, I will put my money that it's probably a middle of a pack reveal, meaning like it'll be revealed around like the middle of the direct, or it will be saved as a last minute surprise announcement type of deal that will catch people off guard, which again is what the Nintendo Directs are very notorious for, in a good way, of course. We will have to find out. We'll have to find out, because like I said, we don't know if they will just do like a simple HD port, which is what they already have done. Maybe they'll do like a more substantial remaster, or maybe they'll just do it from the ground up, which as we've already seen with Crash and Spyro, if you do your from the ground up remakes good, people will be reinvented into the whole franchise just off of that game. Like, it worked for Crash Bandicoot, it worked for Spyro, and if they follow that same example for Banjo-Kazooie and Rayman, if they decide to do that with Rayman, then I just don't see how it wouldn't bring them success, because it's literally brought them success before. So I don't know. So yeah, the next one I'm thinking of, that actually no, it's not that I've been thinking of. It's more of like I've been reading about it, but just having, but maybe I'll give it too much thought about it. But this one is actually next to Metroid in terms of like how much it's been rumored, but I think maybe it's something we'll just go ahead and get it over with. So there's also the thing regarding the Legend of Zelda, the Wind Waker, and Twilight Princess. One of the main, yeah, one of the rumors for this is that they both get re-released onto the platform. Um, and there's a rumor from, uh, let me see if I say his name right. Giant Bomb's Jeff Grubb. There we go. Yeah, so Jeff Grubb and Game Beats Mike Minotz, or Minotti, whatever. I'm super sorry for botching your name, but I can't pronounce that shit. So they're saying that, or they're claiming that the Switch ports for both Wind Waker and Twilight Princess, which were rumors last year, are going to come to fruition finally during this Nintendo Direct. Um, so while yes, we did see these games come out on the Wii U as a re-release, putting them on the Switch, especially with the fact that the Switch is one of the most hot-selling video game consoles that are on the market, it will allow for better consumer access, because not everyone's gonna have a fucking Nintendo Wii U. Like, who the fuck would have that at this point? Unless you already do have it, then major props to you. But yeah, I think re-releasing those games onto the Switch is a smart business decision, because again, you're giving more better access to like those games to your customers on the Switch, and it will provide like a little bit of a boost for the franchise, and give those games more accessibility, so people can really understand why those games were really fucking good. I think Wind Waker is like one of the most underrated games I've ever played. I think it's like one of those games where some are just like, it might be alright, it might be good, but then once you play, you're just like, holy shit. If it's Twilight Princess, I don't think I need to say much about that. Not because it's bad, but because like you expect Twilight Princess to be really fucking good, and it was. I really did enjoy Twilight Princess when it first came out, and just seeing how like it went from like where it was as a franchise before the game came out. Not to say that the franchise was in a bad spot, but because like you're making that good graphical advancement jump from what you were on the GameCube to on the Wii, where it's a little bit more expansive in power. Now imagine all that shit onto the Nintendo Switch, which is why I'm hoping that it's more than just like a HD remake. I hope it's more of like a substantial HD one, where they provide like actual improvements and they make it look really good. I highly doubt it will be a remake from the ground up, unfortunately, which actually would have been really fucking good for the Twilight Princess especially. But I don't think that's gonna happen. It also would have been nice to see it last year during Zelda's 35th anniversary, but just taking the page from Crash Bandicoot, we didn't really get anything for that. Although I think the Zelda one probably did get some stuff last year, but I kind of forgot. So yeah, we could see that tomorrow. I would not be surprised. I would say, just to give it like a comparison chance number, I think it's more likely we see the Zelda stuff than the Metroid, because I think the Zelda one has a little bit more credible to it, and we just had like the thing last year. So, and it gives hope to Crash Bandicoot fans to some degree, because let's think about this, right? If Zelda didn't really get what they were hoping to get or want for their anniversary last year, but they're getting it this year, who's to say that Crash Bandicoot couldn't follow that same path? Now, I could be full of shit for all I know and just make a baseless prediction out of my ass. But if the pattern of thought were to be followed, I don't see how that wouldn't be possible. Like, there's been like so many things in the gaming industry in terms of reveals and shit like that have happened that we all didn't think was going to happen, but it did. So who knows? But I just think it's likely that we see like the Legend of Zelda stuff revealed tomorrow for their for the Wind Waker and Twilight Princess re-release onto the Switch. I think that would be super good. Again, it'll provide better accessibility to those games. It'll get more people familiar with the franchise if they haven't already, and yeah, it would just be great success for the franchise as they, you know, again want to see, you know, if the demand is still there, which there is, but you know, sometimes certain demands for certain franchises in Nintendo may waver. So you do stuff like this, not too often, but every once in a while, just to kind of like get people interested, get them reinvigorated into the whole thing. So that's it. Um, some minor notes I put down here because I did watch like a lot of videos and read some articles. So this may not be all the rumors, but I'll just go for some of them kind of quick. I may go for like another article just to like see what might be out there in my note that I put down in my notes. I know some people were talking about like Advance Wars 1 and 2 Reboot Camp finally releasing. The game that actually does look kind of good for what it is. It might be like one of those games where you play on the side, you play on like you're on like a flight or something offline. Looks pretty good. Obviously they delayed it indefinitely because of the whole Russian invasion of Ukraine. So you know you can imagine like the publicity if they release a game like that when that is also happening. So I don't think that sort of thing will. I don't think that sort of thing will happen. So maybe they'll finally give like an actual release date for that tomorrow. I think it won't. It wouldn't take that much time and focus. It would just be like one of those early announcements at the beginning of the direct, right after the first game reveal, where they're just like, "Oh yeah, by the way, this game comes out finally at this date." Like they'll probably do something like that. So, and speaking of Zelda, speaking of that, Breath of the Wild 2. I know some people are very very passionate about more information for the fucking game. The only thing we do know is that it's slated for spring of 2023, and unless Nintendo's going to do another direct down the road of this year, so if they're doing one this year, I mean in this September, the next possible time they could maybe do it is around December, or they put it with the Game Awards. So it's either, here's what I think. It's either they're going to do the more information for Breath of the Wild 2 in tomorrow's direct, or if they don't do it tomorrow, they're more than likely probably going to wait until the Game Awards, mainly because the Breath of the Wild 2 is one of the most hyped games to be released next year. So I think you putting that with if you put that together with the Game Awards, which has a reputation and has a track record of showing off hype shit, like for example, Joker in Smash was hype, Sephiroth in Smash was hype. A few games here and there were like pretty hype and reveal here and there. So I know when I mentioned first with the Smash Bros stuff is DLC, but it's still video game content being revealed that was super fucking hype once it got revealed, and that's what people really wanted. People wanted Joker in this shit. People really wanted Sephiroth, So there's that. So what kind of information would we see tomorrow if it were to be Breath of the Wild 2 tomorrow? I have no clue. I imagine just based on the fact of what we know, maybe a bit more gameplay. Maybe like an actual release date in spring. Like for example, maybe April 10th, 2023, or maybe May 5th, 2023, maybe something like that, or maybe in March. Who knows? I think it's more than likely if we do see Breath of the Wild 2 tomorrow that we probably will end up getting gameplay compared to a release date, or maybe we get both. I would not be surprised if we end up getting both, because I think a release date like that might be cool, but I feel like maybe waiting for a release date for the Game Awards, which is going to be in December, and December is not that far off from spring 2023. It's not like the worst thing in the world to do because it brings more hype closer to the release window, and it gets more people focused and gets people more into it. So if they don't reveal tomorrow, it's not the end of the world because again they have like the Game Awards, or they just do like another direct beforehand, which will be interesting, but they I think have done that before. So we'll see on that matter what they're gonna do. We'll see on that matter what they're gonna do as far as like what they want to do. So all right, let's go ahead and take a look at like another set of predictions I have in here. So let me take a look. So there, I know some people are hyped for the Skyrim Anniversary Edition port that they're thinking might happen because the PEGI, the UK Age Certification Board, basically the ESRB of the UK, they have the Elder Scrolls 5 Skyrim Anniversary Edition has a 31st 08 2022 release. So, it's like obviously not accurate. It's really not accurate because it's already been past it's already been past August, but there's hope that we might get like the reveal of the anniversary report in tomorrow's Nintendo Direct. So there's a possibility of that. And another one too that we might see is It Takes Two port for Nintendo Switch, because couples gotta have that shit on the Nintendo Switch. So maybe something like that. What other predictions? Let me think. Let me go through my document, see what's something that I want to bring up. I mean, the ones that are mainly talked about that I just went through were like Twilight Princess, Wind Waker, the Skyrim Anniversary Edition, and It Takes Two, which we literally just talked about. So let me go through like what I've written down. I did talk about Hogwarts Legacy for a little bit. I thought that maybe we'll see some gameplay for that. Maybe like, here's another one. There's like maybe there's gonna be something with Team Mario 3D Donkey Kong. Maybe like another collab game between Donkey Kong and Mario. I think that'd be a pretty interesting game to go on about, because how many games are out for Nintendo where it's a team up between Mario and Donkey Kong? Maybe you do it in the style of Mario and Rabbids for all we know. So Bayonetta and Free, that could be something we might see tomorrow. Astral Chain 2, there's that. I know there's like a bit of rumor regarding like a brand new Nintendo Switch, not like a OLD or anything like that, but I'm talking about like an actual brand new Switch, like a Switch 2. Um, I don't know. I don't know if we'll get that tomorrow. I think if we do get like a very surprising announcement, maybe that's what that is. Maybe instead of like a game taking that slot, which is usually what directs usually do, they say like one of the most hype slash surprising game announcements for the very end. Maybe instead of that, they'll do this. But do I think a new Switch will be revealed tomorrow? I honestly have no clue. Just the fact that there's been like variations of like the OLED Switch coming out, especially with the Pokemon one in November 4th. I don't think it would make sense for Nintendo to to announce like a brand new video game console right away like that, unless they do the thing where they announce it tomorrow, but they don't open up pre-orders until like way later down the road, which we have seen before of like companies like releasing video game consoles, but the pre-orders don't open up right away, um, and that they wait down the road or some shit. Who knows? But yeah, I feel like as much as I would love to see a brand new Nintendo Switch, like the powerful Switch that's been rumored, I personally don't think we'll see that tomorrow. And if we do, that'd be great. But I just feel like based on the trend and what we've seen in terms of the market and like these new OLD Switch variations, like the system design, like the Scarlet and Violet one and the Splatoon 3 one, it just wouldn't make sense. It just wouldn't make sense because you're essentially nullifying the OLED Switch to have good sales if you decide to release like the more powerful version between the both available consoles, the regular Switch and then the OLED Switch. It would just I just don't think that'd be smart. So I think we're gonna see like the new Switch next year. But if by some odd chance we do see it tomorrow, I wouldn't be against it because I would want to get the new Switch, like the brand new one compared to the OLED, but we shall see. Um, so what else? What else? maybe just like DLC news. Maybe like for Strikers, because Strikers has been underrated. I know Splatoon 3 literally just came out. But I imagine because of the success in sales that's been happening in Japan, maybe they'll say fuck it, we'll just release like or talk about like DLC that's coming for Splatoon 3 that quick, because it's not uncommon to like release or announce some upcoming downloadable content for your game that just came out, just so you can keep people interested. It would not be the first time for that to happen. Um, maybe may maybe there's like a thing that'll happen with the Game Boy and Game Boy Advance app coming to Nintendo Switch Online. That could be something that could happen. That could be something. Um, mm, yeah, I don't know. I think that's all I really have, because I mean I wrote down like the stuff that I am personally interested in, which are the ones I just mentioned. Of course, I did look up like a couple articles to see if there was like something new I could talk about, which were like kind of like the last two to some degree. But other than that, I think that's pretty much it as far as like those two presentations are concerned. Like I really have nothing else to add. But what I will talk about before we end this episode is we are going to talk about the whole the whole Rayman and announcement for Mario and Rabbids, and then the whole announcement regarding regarding wait, announcement regarding Wampa League. No announcement regarding Wampa League. I think I was just gonna talk more about that. I'll do it real quick. But we're gonna start with Wampa League. So the thing going on with that is, and this is not insider information that I know. It's just something that I've heard and read from the aforementioned Jess Gordon and those guys. So basically, it was obviously going to be like something that was going to be released alongside Crash 4, but then the whole shit happened with Call of Duty being like the typical dog shit that it is, that required like a lot of attention and focus just so the games could be better, because Warzone and Vanguard, I think at that time, were just not doing too great. So they wanted to bring on like these studios to basically help them out, and Toys for Bob was one of them. So they essentially just killed the project of Wampa League because they needed to like focus on that. But then I think they got to the point where they didn't really need to be on the projects for that project with Call of Duty for so long. So then there was like the talk about like, oh, they resurrected the project to some degree, but they're taking like their time with it. And the original plan of like it being DLC was reworked. So the stuff that we saw in terms of the concept art from, well, I'm not gonna say his name because it's not worth the time, but Crash fans should know who I'm talking about when I mentioned the fact of who released a certain concept art and decided, oh, I'm gonna put my name on it like it's mine. But anyways, so I think right then and there was when they decided, instead of just doing it as DLC, we might as well just do it as like a full game, which is something I probably would have done, because I think at that point it would just be better to release it as a full game. And from that point on, they have seen gameplay of it, but they pretty much gave like the distinction that it probably has changed a lot, because at the time of them talking about it, which I think was like a month or two ago, it was like footage from 6 months ago from when they were talking about it. So, and 6 months could change from like what a game in development looks like. So, I think, right, it's definitely something to where it's obviously not going to be released this year. That much I will guarantee. But overall, right? Overall, I think we'll definitely see it next year. Maybe around like the typical summer release date, which is what has happened with other Crash games, with the exception of It's About Time, where it releases in like the middle of June. So that's when I think we'll see Wampa League. I think that's when we'll see it. But as far as like when it will get announced, I sincerely hope we see it tomorrow, or hopefully before the end of the year, for that to really, materialize. So that's my prediction on that. But in terms of my reaction to the Wampa League information, I'm not too surprised by the behind the scenes stuff that you've been talking about, because I figured, because fucking Call of Duty was getting into the shambles, so they probably need like some more additional help on making sure those games don't go completely out of boot, which I mean makes sense because Call of Duty is a bit repetitive. So obviously they were gonna hit that wall at some point, especially with the fact that they release a game every other fucking year. So what can you do? But besides that, right? Now it's a matter of how much of Wumpa League is developed enough by tomorrow to essentially announce it. Well, I would imagine it would have to if they do reveal it tomorrow for the PlayStation Direct, or how they even announce it in Nintendo for all we care. Which I don't think will happen. I think we'll see the Crash announcement in a PlayStation Direct. Um, I think if they do reveal it tomorrow, I think enough of the game is developed to where they'll probably show some sort of footage, or maybe they'll just like reveal like a simple logo, some sort of CGI animation, but nothing about like gameplay. So, and then they release like additional information about the game that's confirmed and stuff like that after the fact, which is pretty standard and typical. So if they do that tomorrow, maybe they'll show off some sort of gameplay. But if they don't, but they still reveal it anyways, then that pretty much means they're probably at some point of having stuff, but not enough to show, which has happened before. So we'll just see what happens regarding it. But yeah, the last thing I'll talk about is Rayman, because then we'll end the episode. But Rayman being revealed for Mario Rabbids Spark of Hope's DLC is one of the best things that could ever happen for Rayman. Because I've always thought that one of the ways that you bring back Rayman into the fray is by one of the two things. You either give him the Crash Bandicoot treatment, where you build up from the ground, you build from the ground up, 3 of his games, like Rayman 1, 2, and 3. You call like the Rayman Collection or whatever. Basically the same way that you did with Crash Bandicoot. And then like a year or two down the road, you put in like an actual brand new Rayman game. Once you see like the demand and hype for it, and then you just go with the trend. You just go off the hype. But it seems like what they're doing instead is you're putting him as a downloadable content character in an established franchise of Mario and Rabbids, which is not like a bad idea at all. I think putting him in the same realm as Mario and Rabbids in terms of their game is going to be amazing. And Rayman was already, because I was looking at it, and I think this is thanks to Rayman Together, basically the Rayman guy. I call him the Rayman guy. He posted some screenshots how like the Rayman trailer or announcement trailer for DLC got a lot more views, a lot more likes compared to just the boss showcase of the game. Which I know boss trailer is not very much to establish over, but just the fact of how much it was being talked about to the point where Rayman was trending a lot yesterday, it goes to show that people are very hyped for Rayman. They really want him back, and I think this is one of the great ways of establishing that. And I think it's off to a good start. I mean, there's been some people who've worked on the Rayman games or are working on Mario Rabbids. They probably did want him back, but they were just waiting to see when was the right moment. So yeah, I'm very excited. I'm very excited as a Rayman fan. I can't wait to see. I am definitely going to purchase the second game once the DLC comes out, because I would rather just play at that time. And I imagine a lot of the Rayman fans will do the same, or maybe they'll just play the game outright when it comes out and then buy the DLC. So, and it's always been known for a while that there's been a good amount of Rayman fans that are very dedicated, very hype. So I think if this DLC turns out very well in terms of sales, in terms of engagement, and in terms of discussion, who's to say that Rayman couldn't get his brand new game finally? Maybe it'll take us another 5 or 10 years, but I think this is a very positive, one of the most positive things that can happen for the franchise. One of the most positive things, and I'm super excited to see how they're gonna do this. It's like, what his full face is gonna look like, because we see the hair, and so far from what I could tell, the hair looks very fucking good. I think the hair looks very good. We don't know the rest of his body, but I imagine if we're gonna go based off the way the hair looks, it's gonna look good. I think it's gonna look good. I'm extremely happy. Outside of that, there's really not much to say because we don't know what else could be revealed. Oh, that reminds me. So maybe that's my that this is my new prediction. Maybe they'll reveal something for more information of the Rayman DLC tomorrow for the Nintendo Direct. Maybe they'll reveal like some additional stuff, like like how he's incorporated into the story, what you could do with him and stuff like that. It's like if they went out of their way to make Rayman a brand new model and actually have him function as an actual character and not just be like some sort of side bitch you see in the background, that goes to show of how much they want to do more things with him, but they just want to give him like this slow start type of deal where they will incorporate him into another franchise, see how he's viewed, demanded, and whatever, and from there you can do as much of it. So besides that, I think maybe that could be something. That could be something. Oh, fucking fly, whatever. So at the end of the day, I'm super excited for Rayman. I could be any more excited. Yeah, there's really not much to say because we don't know too much information about it. So yeah, unless again I'm missing anything or anything more I want to talk about, I will probably just make it into a tweet and whatever. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I'm gonna go ahead and end the video, end the episode. Hopefully I can get this uploaded before tomorrow. But if you see this very late tonight, then that's why. So yeah, that's pretty much it, ladies and gentlemen. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the episode. Don't forget to share this with your friends that are also into video games, or anybody that's into video games that are interested in hearing about rumors, predictions, and shit like that. So I don't know if I'll do like if I do a Nintendo reaction, Nintendo Direct reaction, it will be one of those. If I end up doing it, it'll be one of those delayed reactions where I react after the fact. But I will be attempting to stream the PlayStation 1 for sure, because it'll be at 3 p.m. tomorrow. So I definitely will be able to. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm gonna go ahead and get ready for work. Figure I recorded this episode before after the fact. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Hopefully you guys have a wonderful day. Stay hydrated because it's been really fucking hot. And yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Anything else I might have left to discuss, I'll probably put it in the tweet, or probably put in the videos of content tomorrow if I do either one of them or both. So yeah, that's pretty much it. This is your boy R4097. I'll see you guys next time, and don't forget to follow my content account on Twitter, R4097. Same thing for this YouTube channel, R4097. So with that being said, I'll see you guys next time, and hopefully you guys have a wonderful day. Bye bye.